Study Tech presents Republic Day speech in English. On this rose pink morning, we all have assembled here today to celebrate the 70th Republic Day of our nation. Republic is that country which is ruled by its people. India became Republic when in 26 January 1950 our constitution was enforced. From that day onwards, our country has never looked back and is all set to emerge as an Asian superpower. The credit of this goes to those Indians who had seen a dream, who had worked hard to realize that dream, and who are relentless in their efforts to make India the most loved country in this world. Every Republic Day presents an opportunity to introspect and make resolutions for future. So let's discuss our achievements. Our economy is growing steadily over last few years. India is a rising economic power and an increasingly important locus of innovation. Spurred by competition, unleashed by a liberalization of once stifling regulations, India's private sector firms are fast improving the quality of their products and services and are rapidly expanding. India is changing from a locus of low-cost contract research and reverse engineering to a global center of high-value, indigenously generated innovation. To sustain this transformation, Indian policymakers increasingly recognize the need for continuing economic reforms, new public investments in the nation's infrastructure, and new policy initiatives and institutions to encourage innovation and expand the skills. Some of the public debate ongoing in India concerning how the nation can expand its knowledge economy in a way that is socially inclusive as well as internationally competitive. We have achieved significant progress in science, technology, medicine, infrastructure, global trade in past few years. As a result of this, India has emerged as the most favored destination for foreign investment. But many challenges lie ahead of the country. It is such daylight disparity between the lives of villagers and city dwellers which constitutes the background to an increasingly simmering discontent amongst the poor in the Indian villages. Providing gainful employment to educated youth remains a distant dream. Honesty in public life has to be inculcated. In a generation, India's population is likely to be around 1.6 billion. Even if just 2/3 of this population is to find its livelihood outside the villages, 1 billion people will be living in cities compared to the present 400 million. This would mean that some 200 million more jobs have to be created in the next quarter century at the rate of 8 million new jobs every year. In recent years of the reform era, the net rate of job generation in the organized sector, relying on the government's own data, is under 0.5 million per year. Pertinent here is the fact that this is the era of disruptive robotization across all industries. The reigning vision also implies that our cities will be able to provide the enormous infrastructure of clean air and water, sanitation and power, roads and communication, housing and social security for some 600 million more people. How will 1.6 billion people be fed? Finally, one would have to consider the fact that such a fossil fuel driven agriculture would make extraordinary demands on climate space, and precisely at a time when the latter will be shrinking. In the light of such an alarming outlook, youth of India has more responsibility. Youth has to decide targets, make roadmaps for development, and achieve sustained growth. Then only we can strive to realize the dreams of developed country of the world. So, a great challenge lies and a great responsibility lies on the shoulders of the youth of our country. They have to channelize their energy in the proper direction to make India another superpower in the world. So this is all for today on Republic Day. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.